if you have not tried sourdough English muffins, I suggest you go try them now. They are literally so soft and so fluffy. We're making super simple sourdough English muffins, starting with 2 cups of warm milk. 1 cup of active sourdough starter. We're adding 2 tablespoons of syrup, honey, or sugar. And I'm using syrup. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can knead this by hand. Put it on low and just mix that until it looks like milk. This is milk. Mix it until the starter is mixed well. Usually takes like 20 or 30 seconds. It's mixed well, there's minimal clumps, so now we're gonna add the flour. I'm using Aldi brand all-purpose, and we're gonna add 4 cups. I'm not leveling off my flour or being super tedious about it. I'm just adding whatever's in the cup. 2 teaspoons salt. Now we're just gonna mix this for about 5 minutes on low. And I'm gonna clean up my mess while it's mixing. If you notice your dough is too wet, which this is, so my house must be humid today, you can add more flour. I'm gonna add, because mine seems really wet, I'm gonna try to show you. See, it's actually even sliding. So I'm gonna add about a 1/2 cup. We want this dough kind of dry. And also, if you don't want a ton of English muffins, you can just use the exact measurements, but start with 1.5 cups of milk instead. I want a lot of English muffins because I freeze them, and we just pull them out a couple at a time to make breakfast sandwiches with. We'll see if that 1/2 cup does the trick. That 1/2 cup worked. Now you're just gonna keep mixing it until the dough actually forms a ball in your bowl. So it should come clean from the sides. Mine's getting really, really close. You can see it's pulled away from the sides. So it's ready. I'm transferring this to a new bowl because I need my stand mixer for the recipes today. So just pull it out. It is gonna still be sticky, but you're just gonna pull it out, make it into the best little ball you can. And we're not gonna do any stretch and folds or anything to this. So you're just gonna ball it up. I'm playing with it just for a minute. It feels really nice. Also, you guys, the most important thing, especially when we're measuring in cups, is to go off texture. So if it is thinner than this and you cannot do this, it should be sticky, but if it's thinner than this, you need more flour. If it's too thick and you can't work with it, add a few drips of water and then keep mixing it until it's workable. But it is very important to go off texture. So that looks really good. We're gonna just put it into a clean bowl. We're gonna cover it up. I'm just using a shower cap. And we're gonna let this block ferment until it's about double in size. With the English muffins, you don't have to be super, super tedious on the bulk fermentation. So I'm just gonna let it sit until it's about double. It'll probably take, I'm guessing, maybe 3 or 4 hours. My house is warm, but it's super humid today, so we'll see. My dough's done bulk fermenting. It may be a tad bit over fermented, but it's fine with English muffins. So we're gonna dust our counter with some flour. It feels pretty nice. It's not sticky. And we're gonna dump it out. I'm gonna have to help it a little because it's definitely a little over fermented. My house is really warm today. You can do English muffins a couple ways. You can roll this out and use like a biscuit cutter for the rounds, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just shape them each individually. I'm gonna attempt to cut this into 12 even sections. And these are just for the hubby and I, so it doesn't need to be perfect. I don't have a scale, so I'm not weighing them, just eyeballing it. I also want these bigger because we're making breakfast sandwiches with them. So if you want smaller English muffins, you could make this dough into like 15 or 16 of them. Okay, I'm gonna shape each one. I'm gonna bring all the edges to the center. I like that. Now you're gonna take cornmeal and layer the bottom of the cookie sheet. I'm using parchment paper. And as you get your rounds made, just stick it right on the cornmeal. And I'm just gonna do that to all 12. Once you get them pressed in the cornmeal, stick them on a clean parchment paper. Because since these are jumbo English muffins, we're gonna need 2 trays. All 12 ready, and because we know I don't like to be wasteful, what we're gonna do is flip these over and push them in on this tray. And then we're gonna swap it with that side. And we'll just leave this one sitting in this. You can also just sprinkle it on top. I just didn't want to waste what I had dumped in the pan. Looks like I'm still gonna be wasting some though. They're all done. Now we're just gonna let them sit for a final rise for about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm gonna cover them up with plastic wrap, and then we'll be back and we'll cook them. They got nice and puffy, and now we're gonna put them in a hot skillet for about 4 to 6 minutes on each side, just to get them brown. You do wanna make sure your skillet's good and hot. These are gonna be massive jumbo English muffins. I'm gonna do 3 to each pan. And then just put the lid on it to keep the steam in it. I'm gonna be temping these because since they're jumbo, I wanna make sure the centers are done. Make sure to keep a good eye on them so they don't burn. And once they start getting golden brown, go ahead and flip them. And these are puffing up super nice. That was about 5 minutes. They've been cooking for about 9 minutes total. I'm gonna temp them and make sure they're to 200 degrees. Yep, they're at 205, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull them off. They puffed up beautifully. They're super soft and they look amazing. They're all done. I'm gonna let them cool overnight and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll try one. I had one for breakfast, but I didn't video it. They're absolutely delicious. I was gonna show you real quick. Look at that. It's beautiful, and they're jumbo, so we're gonna make big breakfast sandwiches with them. Just like store-bought English muffins with a fork, you can open them up. You guys, if you have not tried sourdough English muffins, I suggest you go try them now. This morning I just put butter and jelly on them, but literally so perfect.